It is late in the afternoon and you feel like having a snack. This is not big hunger. Right now, there is food in your house that you have no intention of eating, and it will likely sit in your fridge waiting for the same 4 o'clock hunger tomorrow. Why? Because you are not hungry enough right now. Or because you already ate the portion your hunger asked for, and what is left over is, well, leftovers. This arrangement is so ordinary, you have probably never thought about it once. It is also, as far as anyone can tell, about 400,000 years old. Because every animal has the same problem. Food arrives when it arrives. Hunger arrives on its own schedule, and the two do not line up. Most animals solve it by eating what their hunger asks for and hoping to finish the rest later. We solved it by learning to move calories through time. Interesting, isn't it? So, when did this weird time travel start? Winter. When a shortage lasts through a cold season, you are not waiting for dinner anymore. You are trying to outlast a winter. And teeth record what outlasting the cold can cost. Bone remodels itself. Enamel does not, so whatever gets laid down stays. Teeth from 2 Neanderthal children in southeast France grew in layers, roughly 1 a week. And in one of those children, part of the record shows something plain. That body was pulling minerals out of its own skeleton, just to sustain itself. Faced with a shortage that lasts a season, the obvious fix is to get more food. But that runs into 2 problems, and the first one is your own body. Processing protein leaves nitrogen behind. Your liver turns that into urea, your kidneys get rid of it, and the whole arrangement only works so fast. Once protein reaches somewhere around 1/4 of your calories, more of it outruns the system. Your liver has filed an objection. Past that point, extra lean meat can hurt you without closing the gap at all. Arctic explorers had a name for the trap: rabbit starvation. Starvation you do while eating. The second problem is that after a cold season, every animal you can catch has already burned its own fat off. The archaeologist John Speth put it plainly. In cold places, late winter and early spring left hunter-gatherers on diets that were marginal at best. You can be holding meat and still be starving. So you might think you could solve this by staying warm. Simply put, no. A coat holds in what a body already makes. It does not make any fat. Warmth is a problem measured in hours. Hunger is a problem measured in months, which leaves exactly one way out. If you cannot get more calories today, and you cannot stop needing them tomorrow, then you have to take calories that exist now and make them still exist later. Move them through time. And the oldest known case of anybody doing that on purpose is far older than you would guess. A cave called Qasem in Israel lived in between 400,000 and 200,000 years ago. Not a cold place, because the problem is seasonal everywhere and not only in the north. And these people were not Neanderthals, and not us either. That is how far back we are. They hauled home the lower leg bones of fallow deer with the skin and the hoof still attached, and then did not eat them. Carrying meat a long way in order to not eat it looks, on the face of it, like a mistake. An archaeologist named Ruth Blasco kept snagging on the marks left when those legs were finally opened. Logically, those marks seemed wrong, too heavy, and in the wrong places for cutting through fresh skin. So she got hold of deer legs of her own, hung them up, and waited. That is the whole experiment. A week. 2. The skin dries and shrinks onto the bone and hardens there, until getting through it takes real force. That is the mark. And underneath, the marrow is still good at 9 weeks. Longer than most of what is currently in your fridge. 8 out of 10 of the relevant bones carried those marks, so this was not one person trying at once. Blasco's team published it in Science Advances as the earliest known evidence of food preservation anywhere in the world. Which means somebody sat in that cave holding food and did not eat it. Not because they were full, because they could picture being hungry later, and decided to pay for it now. And once that foundation exists, the techniques get more ambitious. At Neumarkt Nord in Germany, the bones of at least 172 large animals were smashed into fragments and boiled so the grease could be skimmed off the top, which is less a recipe than a disagreement with a skeleton. It is worth the trouble because fat keeps and lean meat does not. From there, it is a straight line. Cold does the work of a freezer, a pit does the work of a cellar, smoke and drying can buy you months instead of weeks. None of it changes what a body can do. All of it changes when a calorie is available. So your refrigerator is not the invention. It is the newest hardware for a much older technique, keeping food edible past the moment you could have eaten it. Tonight you will put half your dinner in a plastic box and slide it in behind the milk. Tomorrow you will eat it. You call it leftovers. Today, the hard part is finding the matching lid. Once, it was leaving food untouched while hunger was still in the future.